The other thing that I don't love is this idea that people are saying not to use pain point marketing, or that they don't use pain point marketing. And that is their marketing, is that they're like, I don't use pain point marketing, when they're literally using pain point marketing. They're poking at one of your pains to market to you. What's something you see happening in business and coaching industry that you absolutely disagree with? That's a great question. I was presented with this reframe a couple years ago in 2020, where we have the opportunity to be pro-chocolate rather than anti-vanilla. And so I could sit here and I could rattle off a lot of things that I'm anti-vanilla about. There's a lot of things that I don't like and disagree with in the coaching industry and the online business industry. But, you know, I'd rather just tell you what I do stand for and what I'm sort of pro-chocolate about. What I will say are more like red flags to look out for. So what I would say is just manipulative marketing, people kind of putting the cart before the horse, selling like the lifestyle rather than, especially in the lens of like business coaching, sort of selling the lifestyle or using lifestyle content to sell. I also don't love when people share their monetary wins, because what I make has no bearing on like what I can help you with. And while it's cool and it's super impressive, it also doesn't take into account the context. And so I personally know people who have made, for example, I have a friend who had his biggest month yet, and it was a $100,000 month, but it cost him $120,000 to have that month. So revenue without context and knowing profit margins and overhead is just like, it's a moot point. So I don't love when people use their own monetary wins, right? Even being a personal trainer for 18 years, I was never the most fit trainer. I never had the most abs, but I had a ton of experience, almost 20 years, a college degree, a million certifications under the sun. I was obsessed. I studied it. So like, just because I didn't look a certain way didn't mean that I couldn't get you to your goal. So I don't love the monetary wins as marketing. I don't love the cart before the horse as marketing. As a business coach myself, I have watched a lot of clients, not a lot, I've seen people come through our program and then 5 minutes later, they're business coaches, kind of just regurgitating what they learned inside of my program. And that's fine. I'm not mad about it. There's no resentment, there's no hate, there's nothing. But what you need to realize as a consumer is that's happening a lot, right? So I would say just like do your research, do your due diligence. There is a lot of flashy marketing, cart before the horse. The other thing that I don't love is something that's been going on for a couple of years. This idea that people are saying not to use pain point marketing, or that they don't use pain point marketing. And that is their marketing, is that they're like, I don't use pain point marketing. When the reality of it is, if you actually understood what that was, they're literally using pain point marketing. They're poking at one of your pains to market to you. Same thing as like people saying things like, I refuse to do sales calls, or I don't have sales pages because my clients know how to lead themselves and they don't need a sales page. And if you need more details, then you're not ready to join my program. That is extremely disempowering. There are multiple different types of learners. There are multiple different types of buyers. In fact, I teach it. And I just think it's extremely disempowering to, and it's fine, it's totally on you, but like, it's one thing to not do a sales page or to refuse to do sales calls. Like, that's your business. You do what you want to do. But to tell people that if they need more details, if they need a sales page, if they want to talk to you, that they're not ready. Like, that's just, in my opinion, disempowering and kind of gross. And to me, that just feels, again, kind of like almost like predatory marketing. I don't love that. I grew up wearing kimonos and putting feathers in my hair and like just all of this stuff, very boho. My mom's an artist. We had macrame in the house always and stuff. And I just think it's funny. Like, I have made posts about it jokingly, but it's kind of like the coacher's starter pack. And it's like the echo chamber of everybody looking the same way, dressing the same way, using the same marketing, using the same messaging. There's a particular brand right now, like branding, that is just like trending. And I get it. Success leaves clues. And when you see something that works, you're like, oh, I should just do that too, because it works. But everybody's brand looks the same. I'm not going to call out what it looks like. Everybody's brand looks the same. It's the same colors. It's the same vibe. It's the same mood. I just don't love that. Like, the whole point that people are going to work with you is because of you. Like, you are the secret sauce. As soon as you start to bring elements of you into your business, into your brand, and into your content, people will automatically connect and resonate you for whatever reason, right? It might just be like, oh my God, I had a destination wedding too. Or I was talking about it yesterday. We lived in an RV and traveled the country for 14 months. even if you haven't done that, but it's something that you always wanted to do, we have this connection now just because I'm sharing parts of my life, right? And the conversation started yesterday because on Sunday, fortunately, we were approaching the 1-year mark since I had an ectopic pregnancy, and we lost our baby, and I lost my right fallopian tube. And things like that, people connect to that, right? Other men and women who have been through similar things, they connect to that. And so what I don't like is using that then as marketing, right? Where there's a difference between being vulnerable and authentic and sharing parts of yourself to connect and help other people. And then there's like the kind of like you cross the line and now you're using it as marketing or like bait to call someone in. And we can all see through that. We can all feel that. We've all been a part of it where someone tells this like really heart-wrenching story and then all of a sudden there's a pitch at the end and you're like, what? Like, why did that just happen, right? So, and the one thing that I would say, and this is not about what I like or don't like, the one thing I would say is in my experience being in this now almost 12 years with coaches and masterminds and mentorship and all of that, people are people. I have yet to meet somebody in this industry, no matter how big or small, how much money they're making, how many followers they have, how popular they are. I have yet to meet somebody who isn't just a human. And I don't love the guru, untouchable, on a pedestal kind of a thing. And we, the consumers, oftentimes are the ones putting people on a pedestal. We, the consumers, are putting people in this place of like guruism. I don't know if that's a word, but I will say it's dangerous. Like we as consumers are doing it and it's dangerous. And every single person that I've met, no matter how big or small, and I've met very big people, very, very famous, very well known, making lots of money, not just in the coaching industry, but just entrepreneurship in general, right? People are people. And everybody poops, everybody cries, everybody's got challenges, everybody's dealing with something behind the scenes that you don't know about. And I will tell you right now, being in masterminds for a decade, when you get into a mastermind and everyone is open and vulnerable and they lift up the hood of the car, right? They lift up the hood of the business and they're looking at the engine and they're asking for support. Everybody's in the same boat. Like everybody's just trying to figure it out as humans, going through the human experience with our egos. We're trying to figure out the business, what's working, what's not, what's trending, what's not, what used to work doesn't, right? Everybody's just trying to figure it out. So what I don't love is, and we have created it, I don't love this sort of like guru on a pedestal, untouchable thing. And I think for me, one of the best compliments I've ever received, and if you've ever met me in person, I'd love to hear from you in the comments, but one of the best compliments I've ever received is, and I've received it many times, when I meet people in person, whether I'm speaking at an event or I'm at a mastermind or whatever, I'm somewhere and I meet people in person, even just strangers on the internet, repeatedly I have been told, you are exactly who you are in person as you are online. The only thing they say is though, I'm shorter than they expected, but that's like the best, that is the best thing. I love to hear that, not because my ego needs it, because I want to be the exact same person that I am on here that I am in person. The coaching industry becomes very personal for the business owner because we're service providers selling a service. And most of us, even if we have a company that we've started, we are the brand. And so there is an attachment that's very different than if I were selling hair ties or rose water spray or something like that. There's like a distance between the product you sell and yourself. But when you're a coach and you're selling yourself and you're selling coaching, that distance gets small. That gap feels really small. Thank you all. I love you. Have a great day. And my mug even says it today. It says, I think I'll just be happy today. So with my little rainbow. As always, cheers to your evolution.